Alrighty, all the cat's out of the bag, or maybe more so the Pelican has flown across the bay. I don't know, it doesn't matter. The Pelicans have said that they're willing to trade Zion Williamson, or at least they're listening to offers, so you know what that means. We have to go into Fanspo and we gotta mock up all the possible trades that we can think of for Zion Williamson. Actually, the idea of this started on our Discord. We've been talking about, I don't know where we were talking about, I think it was here. Yeah, we were talking about it on the Discord here. This is basically just my way of plugging, hey, go join the Discord. Links is always in the description to go hop on here. We are talking constantly 24/7 about basketball, whether it's news, trade ideas, off-season ideas, whatever you can possibly think of, go jump on the Discord. Shout out to all the people on here always contributing. But anyway, the man in question today, Zion Williamson, one of the most fun basketball players ever, right? Like, I that's kind of a whatever thing for me to say, right? That's completely subjective, but I remember in high school watching Zion Williamson every single day at lunch, right? Like, you'd watch the highlights of him. It was him and Mac McClung that were like out at the same time, just giving me joy every time I was watching something during lunch and trying to escape school. And I was like, wow, this Zion Williamson is completely unstoppable. I got to witness him firsthand in college, and I will say he was everything you expected him to be. So that was something, and he completely dominated once he got to the NBA as well. Like, we all know how good of a basketball player Zion Williamson is. Great rookie season, only played 24 games, played 61 games, made an All-Star appearance in his second season, made the All-Star team in his third season, and then he was like hurt for the rest of the season. Didn't make the All-Star team last year, but played 70 games, had that awesome play-in game or whatever, and then he went down at like the end of it, and that was it. And then 6 games of him this season. The things about him being overweight and just not being available, not taking it that seriously, not wanting to be in New Orleans, all this stuff just keeps circling. And then we got this stupid back tattoo. What the hell even is this? I don't even know the best way to zoom into this thing, but like, what is this? I don't know, and that's not a flattering picture. I'm sorry about that one, but man, like, what's going on with old Zion here? I don't know. We all know he's a great player, right? If he's on the basketball court, he's amazing. He can handle the rock, he can pass, and notice how I'm saying those things first before he can jump out of the gym. There's nobody that can physically stop him if he's running. The Pelicans installed like unique like reverse floppy sets so that he could catch the ball while moving towards the rim, because I can't remember what the statistic was, but it was like, hey, he finishes like 50% of layups, but then he has like a some percent chance of like, I think it was like a 70% chance of like grabbing his own offensive rebound, and then he has like a 95% chance of putting the ball back in again and making it. Absolutely nuts, right? Absolutely phenomenal basketball player, but he can't stay healthy, and he doesn't seem to care about his physical health a ton. He keeps letting himself kind of get out of shape, and he's still more athletic than everybody else, even when he's out of shape, so pretty nuts to say the least. But anyway, the Pelicans are willing to part ways with him potentially. And the Pelicans are in this weird spot with him, Brandon Ingram. CJ McCollum doesn't need to be on the team at this point. The whole team is just hurt. They've got some interesting young players on the team, though. They do have pretty good draft capital. So what do you do, right? And in my opinion, and I'm not gonna, if you have the opposite opinion, I totally hear you out on that. And honestly, I respect it. You could talk me into it. I'm of the mindset that, look, we have to start making contract decisions with like the rest of this group, aka Brandon Ingram and all of them. I'm blowing this team up for the most part. Like, I think we need to get rid of most of these players, and that's what we're going to be doing on Fanspo, at least in the Zion portion. I think next week we'll do a full video of like, what should the Pelicans just do in general. We'll mock out an entire scenario, kind of like we've done on the channel earlier. Go check out those videos if you haven't already. But yeah, I think you get rid of Zion. I think you get rid of Brandon Ingram, CJ, hell, maybe DeJounte Murray at the end of the season again. Like, I'm keeping Herb, Trey Murphy, Jordan Hawkins, Yves Missy. Everyone else can, maybe Jose for the culture. Everyone else can get the hell off this team. Like, we couldn't keep them together. Nobody can stay healthy. It's just not working. We don't have time. We need to try something else. They're the worst team in the West as of right now. They could land like a top 3 pick and get to do the same thing they did with Anthony Davis. Maybe they'll just get to do a immediate rebuild already, right? Because they had Anthony Davis. They ended up trading him because they got the first overall pick and they got Zion Williamson, right? So they're like, okay, quick rebuild. We're good to go already again. They might be able to do the same thing again and just try again, because this front office is doing a good job of finding talent. They just can't keep them all on the floor, and there's nothing that they can do about that, right? Like, I feel like they've got good things in place. They just can't stay healthy. So I'm moving on from this group personally. That's how I see it. I think you've got really good things here in Herb and Trey. I think these are rare players to find. I think Jordan Hawkins is worth exploring. Yves Missy is exactly what I expected him to be already, and I love it. And like I said, I just love Jose Alvarado, and he's on a great contract. So I'm getting rid of these guys, getting other assets, other young players or something like that. But what does Zion Williamson trade look like? So let's go through every single team and figure out who could use Zion Williamson, how could you use him, what would a trade look like for each of these teams, right? Because look, he's valuable, right? We all know how great of a player he is. He is only 24 years old still, only 24. He's not on a bad contract either. Like, it's a good amount of money. It's not anything atrocious, so teams can make it happen. And hey, if he locks in and if he somehow stays healthy, which that's a huge if, this guy's one of the best players we have in basketball, probably top 10 player in the NBA, right? Like, he just is that good. So somebody's going to want something for him. But there's so many question marks around him too. So what are the trades worth? I don't know. Let's jump into it. By the way, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment to my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. So leave me a comment. I will reply. It's that simple. All right, let's do it. Since the Pelicans are all the way at the bottom here of FanSpo, let's start from the top. I feel like that's more than appropriate, right? And now I don't think about this much beforehand. And if you guys have other ideas, comment them down below, because I'm not going to hit necessarily everything. But like Cleveland Cavaliers, nope, they've got a good group together right now. They're not touching him, right? There's going to be some teams where it just doesn't make sense. Celtics, no way they can make that happen, right? The New York Knicks. All right, we're already making a pit stop here because there's been a lot of stuff saying Zion always wanted to go to the Knicks anyway. He never wanted to go to New Orleans. And now there's going to be people that don't completely understand the basketball business side of things. I'm going to try to explain it to you guys as best as possible, right? So originally when Zion was getting drafted, his camp wanted him in New York. For those of you that don't understand, New York, just much bigger market, a lot more money-making opportunities for players there. He didn't want to go to New Orleans, smaller market, right? Not as many opportunities. It's kind of that simple, right? He also didn't like that organization as much. He wanted to be more so in the spotlight, things like that. Cool, understandable, right? There's some theory that maybe he doesn't care so much because he wants to get moved off the team. Maybe that's why he looks like this right now and he's doing all this. Kind of pulling the James Harden thing that he did where he tricked all of us into thinking he was really fat and then got skinny out of nowhere. I don't know. Maybe that's the plan at the end of the day, but it sure doesn't seem like Zion's rushing to get back. I'm sure he's working to some extent, but it sure doesn't seem like it, right? So can we get him over to the Knicks? The Knicks have this like power team right here of really gritty effort dudes. But at the end of the day, talent talks. So what would a trade even realistically look like? Well, actually, it would be pretty simple, right? Just looking at these numbers right here. Say what you want about Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and stuff, guys like that. Is there just a world where we can just do like, you probably want OG Anunoby over maybe Bridges right now, because Bridges is kind of regressing a little bit. He is a little bit younger as well. So let's mock out a couple scenarios here. So, right, and the Pelicans have to get something out of this in some capacity, right? So let's assume in this scenario, the Pelicans are getting rid of everybody, right? They're going to be getting rid of a lot of people. They're just tanking the rest of the season, which they're doing a good job of doing that anyway. Presumably, they're going to get the Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, right? One of the three. We want to give a landing pad to those guys, and that's why we keep a Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Jordan Hawkins, Yves Missy, right? We got some dudes on the team already for him. We could kind of go that mentality again. The Knicks, they still have some picks to work with, is the crazy thing about it, huh? Those picks are basically nothing, though, so that doesn't do us any good. They can't use their 2026. They have a fuck ton of seconds, but I don't give a shit about those. Like, I just don't. So we got to trade people of value, but like, you're not going to not get first-round picks for Zion, right? So we've got to bring in like another team to make this happen. Like, I feel like it's going to be like a decent player, like an above average player, and like 1 to 2 first round picks. Like, that feels like it. It feels like the amount of first round picks needed to make these trades has decreased since like the Rudy Gobert stuff, and even more so since I'm explaining this really poorly, but after the Rudy Gobert trade, people were like, okay, we can't just trade all of our first round picks anymore. And then teams shrunk like how much like value that first round picks actually have, and it feels like it's happening again. The fact that Schroeder went for none kind of tells you a little bit something, but Who can we bring in to facilitate? It really doesn't matter that much at the end of the day. So let's just, where's Brooklyn? Just throw Brooklyn into it because that's always the answer to things. So where can we, to the Nets? And let's not do the Nets because they just did a trade with them already. Let's just say it's the Raptors. Raptors want to get in on this shit somehow, right? Where can we move people? We can give them some salary relief actually through Bruce Brown, interestingly enough. So let's explore that a little bit. Let's send Bridges over to the Raptors. Just hear me out. Do I think that this is the best move in the world? No, not necessarily. So Bruce Brown over to the Pelicans, Zion over to the Knicks. That's not going to work. We have to make the money work a little bit more, but how much? I need to cut $13 million still. Well, lucky for you guys, I have Mitchell Robinson, who I no longer need on the basketball team. I can send him over to the Pelicans right here. And does this work? Ooh. That works in and of itself. Okay, so the Raptors picked up a nice player, right? They're willing to trade something. They're not trading their 2025. They probably will give you your 2026, though, or maybe this Indianapolis one even. So guess what? You can, you don't need to add too much more draft talent to this team necessarily. But maybe we say, all right, you can have this 2027 first round pick, send that over to the Pelicans in this one, right? And then we supplement you with like a bunch of seconds or something like that. They're not really getting like an interesting player out of this, are they? Like, can we give them some sort of young player to make them feel just a little bit better about their decisions? Like, they have so many young players on this team. Like, are you giving up Jacoby Walter already? I know there's going to be some Raptors fans like, Jacoby Walter's the future. Relax. You haven't seen enough of him to feel that way. You're not that attached. Calm down. Do I throw Jacoby Walter out here? Maybe I do. Just let me play with it for a second, okay? Everybody calm the fuck down. Just let me play with it for a second. All right, you guys get so mad. Okay, who else do I want to send over? I'm not a big fan of Jeremiah Robinson Earl's game. So can I just do something like this as well? And then they get the first round pick as well. You got Jacoby Walter. Cool, right? Something like that. The Knicks have to throw in some picks because they got Zion. You have to give them like a bunch of second round picks. So like unprotected going to the Pelicans, a second round pick going over to the Pelicans. You guys get it. Insert second round picks, make money happen. Boom. There we go. Something like this. That could be kind of interesting. I don't know. Okay. We did the Knicks. You guys are happy now. I did the Knicks. If you guys come up with a better one, you let me know. Orlando Magic, don't you dare put Zion Williamson on this team. This team has too much grit and everything right now. We're not messing with it at this moment in time. The Miami Heat. Ooh. Okay. So why would this even possibly happen? Maybe Miami says Heat culture fixes Zion Williamson. I'm of the mentality that we can't trade Zion Williamson to any major city that has very good cuisine. That's my philosophy with this, okay? I'm not telling you guys why. That's just my philosophy with this. In my humble opinion, and I hope I piss some people off with this, I lived in Miami. Miami, not the best cuisine I've had in the world. It's got some, not the best though, so we can trade Zion there. I'm okay with it, but how the hell would it even work? How the hell would this even work? The Jimmy Butler thing's not happening, right? Like they're not doing that, would they? Would they? Why would the Pelicans want Jimmy? No, if they're tearing things down, it wouldn't make sense, right? So no, there's no way in hell they could do it. Well, okay, just play with me for a second, right? Play with me for a second. Okay, so $24 million is right here, right? So we send him over. We send Duncan Robinson over too because he makes money. And then you're going to have to give up Jaime. And you know what? That's fine. They are going to build out a team of wings, the ultimate wing team, and that's totally fine. And then we just have to give up something that we don't want. They can have Daniel Tice because they just gave up another center in Thomas Bryant anyway. And then what do we have here? I need to cut $5 million still. Okay, that's fine. I'm not tripping about that. Okay, how am I going to do it, though? As I'm not trading Trey, Jeremiah Robinson, Earl. Ooh, you guys are going to have to take, like... Don't the Heat have an open roster spot? So they can probably take more people. So that's only going to be 4.1, right? Do they have any sort of trade exception that can, like, make this work? Does this make sense? No, I need $1.2 million still. Okay, so we could bring in a third team to just kind of, like... make this happen. So let's bring in our favorite third-party team, the Washington Wizards. Woo! Good for you, Wizards. You get to be involved in this somehow. Wizards, we need to move some money. We need to move some money off our team. What are we going to do? Who are we going to move off of? Because now all of a sudden the Heat need to trade like 3 more people or Herb Jones, and that doesn't make much sense to me. Okay, or they have to trade like Jordan Hawkins and someone else, which I don't want to trade Jordan Hawkins if I don't have to. I like the scoring that he brings. We want to explore that. I don't know. This seems a little bit far-fetched, doesn't it? Can we not trade Duncan Robinson then? Can we not trade Duncan Robinson? So this gets us to like 25-ish million. Who else can we throw in instead? Is it just Haywood Highsmith? Trade him to the Pelicans instead? What do I get with this? We need to cut 828K. Of course we do. Of course we do. Wizards, get off my screen, okay? It's not that big of a deal. Okay. I'm too feisty tonight, apparently. Okay, well then let's just do this instead. No. Because the Heat need to send some more money over. So I sent over 5.2. No, there's no other way to really do that unless I send back a cheaper deal, which means I send over Carlo to them. He feels like a guy that could fit on the Heat, and that trade works then, right? What? Cut 2.9. Wait, oh yeah, wait. What? Didn't I take less money back? How did it grow? Wait one second. Let me everybody just calm down for a second. Trade him over there. Carlo comes back. Why is it... Am I just slow? Am I bad at math right now? I'm confused. I'm so confused. Okay, don't worry about it. Oh, wait, no, I need to send more money from over here. I am slow. I'm so sorry. I need to figure this out. So, Josh Richardson, we're sending 3 players over. We can send 3 back then. Okay, so you can have Josh Richardson. He's gone at the end of the year anyway. And then we just take back Daniel Tice. Does that work for you guys? Okay. Something like that. We don't have the draft picks is the problem now, right? We've got like the 2029 first that we can throw in there, the 2030, one of those, right? You throw in both seconds. Maybe you feel fine about that. Maybe you don't. I don't know. It's something, and we tried it at the end of the day. I'm like 17 minutes into this video already. The Milwaukee Bucks, no shot that one happens. The Atlanta Hawks, I don't think that there's any realm that they explore that, right? Trae Young and Zion. That feels like building your team with 2 players that have very obvious weaknesses. Not really messing with that. The Indiana Pacers, nah, I don't. They just kind of invested in this team here. I don't see any way that happens. The Chicago Bulls, we could definitely work something out here. Yeah, we could. We can work something out here. And what's the Bulls' reasoning, right? The Bulls are dumb, and they'd love to try to cheat the rebuild process, and they'd love just to put him on the team just to sell some seats and everything, which, look, I'd rather have Zion Williamson on my team, most likely for a shot at having, like, star players, probably than any of these other dudes, in all honesty. Like, I like Giddey a lot. Like, Kobe's cool. Like, don't get me wrong, I like this group of dudes on the Bulls. I'm a Bulls fan, for those of you that don't know. Like, it's a cool group of guys. It's just not a winning group of guys, right? And so I'm not stuck on either of them. This isn't going to be a Zach LaVine trade, so everybody just relax, okay? But what are we doing for this? Do we make them take Patrick Williams? I don't think there's any way that we can convince them to do that. Patrick Williams did play his first game the other night, though, so that was cool. So can we make them take Patrick Williams, though? Like, is this something where we send Vucevic, Pat Will over there, Zion comes over to the Bulls? What happens then? Done. Finished it. Throw in, 1 first-round pick, if that. Like, we've got this Portland first-round pick. Depending on... It's protected anyway. Shit. Okay, like... What do we give them? I don't want to give them first-round picks for this, personally. But you're going to do it anyway because he's on a 4-year deal and he's Zion Williamson, right? So you give up your 2027 first-round pick over to them... Come on, page unresponsive. What are we doing? Let's go. Unprotected trade over to the Pelicans here. Throw in some seconds. You guys know the deal. Something like this. Boom. There you go. I don't know. Maybe the Pelicans wouldn't like this because they're taking on more money and stuff like that. It feels like not much of a teardown type move. So probably not, in all honesty. Don't take that one as a ton of realism. There's not a bunch else that you can like use to bail them out of this one, but maybe there's something there long term in terms of a 3 team. The Brooklyn Nets. So this is funny. We talked about this one a ton in the Discord, a ton. Someone specifically brought it up. Does Brooklyn try for this? in some capacity, accelerate the rebuild process. And I think the conclusion we all came to is no, and here's why. The Brooklyn Nets have tried to cheat the rebuild a couple times now in recent memory, right? They did the whole Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett thing. That didn't work out. So then they tried to do the rebuild the smart way, and they were going the right direction, and then they went and got Kyrie, Harden, Durant, all of them, right? Tried to cheat the process. It didn't go that well. They tried to supplement it by going and getting Ben Simmons. Kind of a similar situation, right? That didn't end up working out. I think this team really needs to commit to a rebuild right now. So while, yes, I'm sure all of you could mock up a trade here that works, I'm not going to explore it because I don't think they should do it, and I don't think it makes sense. Detroit Pistons, please do not put any more non-shooters on this team. The Sixers, interesting. Tyrese Maxey and Zion Williamson, two beefy boys on one basketball team. Could we reasonably figure that out without trading Paul George or Joel Embiid? Probably not. I don't think the Pelicans are interested in taking any of those dudes. I don't think we can combine salaries enough to make that work. So I'm going to say no. The Charlotte Hornets, we can make something work here 100%. And I think it would make some sense to throw him on the team. Basketball-wise, Zion and LaMelo basketball-wise would be nuts. That's a lot of basketball intelligence on one court, even though they might not have the most people intelligence. A ton of basketball intelligence, though. Very natural players. They'd complement each other pretty well. Cool. Should the Hornets bring this guy into their organization that they're currently trying to clean up, right? The new owners, new GMs and everything. What is going on? Like, is my internet bad? No, it's not. Okay. Should they do that? Morally, I'd have problems with it, maybe. But we're going to do it anyway. So, Zion Williamson over to the Hornets here. Miles Bridges, 100% a part of this. Send him back to the Pelicans. That's fine. He's there to make money work. They understand that. Cody Martin, we sending him over? Or are we making them give us like young Trey Mann or something like that? Do we make them give us Trey Mann? I think we do. Yeah, Trey Mann, come back over here to the Pelicans. Let's get us a little scoring guard or something like that. Let him be main point guard, finally. And the Hornets, they value Trey Mann. They do. So what do we got here? That trade works. Okay, how do the Hornets supplement them with picks is the question. I can't believe the Hornets don't have their own first. It's probably protected or something like that, but still. It's just scary to think about. They send over this Dallas pick over to the Pelicans, and they send this Miami Heat first-round pick. What is going on? I'm going to refresh the page in just a second if it keeps doing that. But, so we do this, make this trade happen like this. Not a bad return at the end of the day. You get 2 first-round picks that you hopefully get to use. You get Miles Bridges to kind of help bridge the gap with things. No joke intended there. Trey Mann, nice basketball player. It hurts that these are the trades I'm mocking up for Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson should be an untouchable basketball player, but god damn it, he can't stay healthy. And he really likes eating mashed potatoes. Did you guys see the video with the tattoo and everything? Why were they making him like chicken and mashed potatoes in the background? It was like a highlight reel. Like, I couldn't even begin to understand it. There's like the whole highlight reel of him getting the tattoo, and then they're also like making him like pasta and mashed potatoes or something like that. And they're like, oh yeah, look what we're making up. And I'm like, don't do that. You have no self-awareness. I don't know. All right, I'm refreshing this page. All right, we're back. The Toronto Raptors. Does it make sense? I don't think so. I think Scotty Barnes is kind of taking up that position. They've got other wings that they're kind of messing with in RJ Barrett right now. So, I don't think it makes sense to them. The Raptors, I feel like, are going to be really smart in their rebuild process. So I feel like they're going to just kind of chill. The Wizards. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Wouldn't it be the most Washington Wizards thing ever? For them to end up, we're totally mocking this up. This is totally something the Wizards would do. They'd be like, we got Zion. We got him, y'all. We're going in the right direction now. And it would be a disaster. An absolute disaster. There's no way a group of like NBA GMs or just like front office people get together in a room in Washington, D.C. and look at each other and say, we should bring Zion here. We should do that. But don't you just feel like they could? So let's do it. Let's trade him over to the Wizards, especially because we could do it. Kyle Kuzma. possibly part of it. Or we just send Brogdon over to them because, like, they don't give a shit. We send Brogdon over there, and we send Valanciunas back as well, ship his ass back there. Or do we send them Marvin Bagley for 1 year so they can get off the money? I think we do that. And look at this. We have a Zion Williamson trade right there. Now, obviously, you know, there's more to this, right? We send them as well Keyshawn George, the least valuable of all of our interesting young players, and I say that a little bit lightly. Moving on, who else are we sending them to make them, I don't know, feel a little bit better about themselves? What did they just send us? They sent us a wing, a big, and a point guard, so we can kind of just send them whatever. Send them back maybe an expiring deal or something like that. They can have Daniel Tice now, because we don't. Are you serious? There's nothing wrong with my internet. I've got good internet. This is all fanspo right now. So a trade like this works. We have to supplement them with draft picks, which the Wizards really don't have like a whole treasure trove of. So guess what? They're going to send their 2027 first round pick over because they're like, well, we got Zion Williamson now. We don't need him. And then they're going to trade over like these second round picks already, because why not? A trade like this, and again, you guys fiddle with the end parts of it. Could we see something like this where the Wizards, there's no way the Pelicans go for this, right? Keyshawn George and this? No. They'd have to get back like Koulibaly or something like that. And I feel like the Wizards are at least smart enough to not trade Koulibaly. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. If you want to throw Kyle Kuzma in instead of Brogdon so they feel like they're at least getting something instead, good on you. I don't care. I just don't care. It's the Wizards, but wouldn't it be so funny? Moving on to the next teams. Oklahoma City Thunder, they wouldn't touch that with a, I don't know, with a mozzarella stick. Grizzlies, no. Nope. The Rockets love a good trade, don't they? They like a good big name trade. They are not scared of those kinds of deals at all. So what are we doing? What could we possibly do to bring Zion Williamson in here? We're cool with trading Jabari, right? We all understand that. We're cool with trading him. So we send them Jabari Smith Jr., right? They feel great about that. They love getting Jabari Smith Jr. on this team. Young guy, they can mess around with him, see what he turns into. They send him Uncle Jeff as well. Not nearly enough money still. So we have to send them someone with some sustenance like Steven Adams. Is this financially doable? Ooh. Okay, good to know. I didn't think that was going to work. I didn't do the math in my head. But we got to give them something else, too, because we just took away a center from them. We kind of gave them a center in a way. And we took away Jabari. Can we give them Jeremiah Robinson Earl, or would they rather have Javonte Green? They might rather have Javonte Green. He's a little bit cheaper, and they can play him at multiple positions. So, okay, they can't even take him, actually. So just hold on for a second. I want to give them something else. We're not giving them Brandon Boston. Can we give them Carlo? Just wait. Oh, my goodness, what happened? There, let's move Carlo over. Try this one. This one should work. Yeah, okay. So there's the deal. They get Jabari Smith, which is interesting. Former number 2 overall pick, mind you. That's me selling right now. Okay. Guess what? You can have our 2025 first-round pick. We're a good team this year. We don't even need that shit. Do we have, like, protections or anything? We have a Phoenix pick as well that we could give you, but we did give you Jabari Smith, and this guy never plays basketball. We're actually taking some salary on from you. Oh, we have to also think, does the Houston scene, can they sustain Zion Williamson? Give me 1 second. How good is the food scene in Houston? Let's see what we got. Why is it so zoomed in? Houston has a widely acclaimed food scene, considered one of the best in the United States due to its incredible diversity of cuisines, high-quality restaurants, and large immigrant populations, unique flavors. Well, what kind of cuisine are we talking about? Award-winning chefs. Yeah, no, guys, I'm not sure we can go through with this. This will never work. We can't do this to Houston. I'm just playing with y'all. I'm just playing. Okay, fair enough. This is something. So this is the trade we've kind of mocked up here. They get a first. They get Jabari Smith Jr. They get some salary relief. Fair enough. Maybe you can throw in some other things. I don't know. Houston Rockets, I doubt they're out of the question. I'm sure they would try to take him on at the end of the day. The Dallas Mavericks, no way, Jose. No way that happens. The Denver Nuggets, that would be hilarious to have him and Jokic on the court together, but absolutely not. Not happening. Suns, nope, don't see it. Don't see it happening unless. Beal's been pretty good this year overall. No, there's no way the money's too different. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, I just wanted to think it through for a second. The Timberwolves. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I've got a dirty idea. Minnesota. I live in Minneapolis, so I can tell you about the food scene here. I think it's fine. I'm not sure it's anything special unless... If you guys ever had egg bake, let me know if you've ever had egg bake. Again, I'm not a foodie. I discovered egg bake when I moved to Minneapolis. That shit's pretty good. But that's all I can think of in terms of Minnesota cuisine, unless you're thinking of like Busch Lights and stuff like that, which I don't even drink, so I don't know. We can totally do something like this, right? We could totally, and then we have to give them something else, right? So they get to have Josh Minott, which I know my Timberwolves fans go, no, Josh Minott's not that great. Calm down, you're fine. We need to cut another $1 million. Do we have someone else that we can give them that has substantial money in some capacity? We can give them PJ Dozier. Okay, you can have PJ. Does something like this work? Then they'll just waive PJ Dozier. Then that's not a big deal. I'm not tripping about that. Since they are an over second, that's right. They can't. Oh, that's right. They can't. So when you're in the second apron, you can't combine salaries to go get a single player. So, yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, no shot that happens, right? Right? Unless we bring a third team into it, the Charlotte Hornets, because they've always wanted to have Julius Randle on their basketball team, right? So Julius Randle goes over to the Hornets. We need to take money back though somehow. So how are we going to do this? Because we need to, okay, so let's just undo this. So like this in and of itself can't do it. The Hornets, obviously, they need to cut another $3-4 million in like one player. So how do we do that? You're not trading Mike Conley. You need to trade like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and he's been pretty good for you. I don't want to do that. It's too hard. Nope, you're not doing it. It's not happening. Sorry, you can't do it. Minnesota, you don't get to have Zion. It doesn't make a ton of sense anyway, so it's totally fine. The Golden State Warriors. No. The Clippers totally would do something like this, wouldn't they? How could they do it, though, is the question. So we've got all these, like, role players and everything that they could move, but are the Pelicans really interested in any of these guys? They don't really need Norm Powell right now. Like, they don't need PJ Tucker now. Not happening. The Lakers, they're interested in everything, right? Like, just come on now. And this one's pretty simple too. We just have to do this. D'Lo over to the Pelicans. He's on a 1-year deal anyway. They get Rui Hachimura to play with. There you go. Nice, easy. Okay, calm down. All right. Would it be easier to trade? No, it wouldn't be. So guess what? You also have to take on. Do we want to give them Gabe Vincent? Do we tell them to take on Gabe Vincent? No, we can't make them do that. There's no way. No way in hell. So what are we giving them? We're giving them Christian Wood, who they can just cut, right? You guys cut Christian Wood for us, and we'll make it worth your while. There we go. So we've got something like that. We're going to make it worth your while. How are we going to do that? With the heavily coveted 2029 Lakers first-round pick. I know you guys were excited to get that. And you get these handful of second-round picks that I would throw in 2K to make a trade happen. So... yeah, there you go. I guess can we give him something else instead of like Christian Wood, like anything else that's like young valuable player? We can't give up Bronny. He's the future of this franchise. Jalen Hood-Schifino shouldn't. There's a reason he's getting cut after this season. Do we give him Max Christie? Do we want to give them Max Christie? Like, just out of curiosity. They might feel a little bit better getting a Max Christie back because they can kind of see if there's something there. Okay, maybe you feel a little bit better with that, right? Maybe you do. So, I don't know. I'd be curious to see this again. These could probably get better if you do 3-team trades somehow, but for the time being, this is what I'm doing. This is a good one just because it helps kind of relieve some salary a little bit quicker for the Pelicans. So, there you go. Lakers, maybe we can make something work there. All right, who's next? The Spurs. No shot in hell. No shot in hell. The Kings. If Keegan Murray never learns how to shoot again, which I'm not tripping about, I think he'll be fine. Maybe something happens here, but otherwise, no, I don't think the Kings can swing something like this. The Portland Trailblazers, we could do it. I mean, easily we can do it. I mean, hell, let's just mock it up really quick. Jeremy Grant, no, we're not even going to do him. Let's send Rob Will over there. Denny, it doesn't get played nearly enough that he's been starting to get some PT as of late, which has been nice to see. You send Matisse Thybulle over here. How far off are we in this place? Cut $13 million still. Shit, do we just do like an Anthony Simons thing? Do they want Anthony Simons? Like, why the hell not? We probably don't even have to really give them first round picks then if we do something like this. So there you go. You guys get to do this. You guys could have some second round picks because we're actually giving you good basketball players as a part of this. Pelicans fans, Portland Trailblazers fans are just probably distraught after this. You'd talk yourselves into Zion. Don't act like you wouldn't. Yes, you would. I hear you arguing and typing right now, and I know you're commenting like, no, we would hate this trade. You would find a way to love it. So calm down. Okay, I'm leaving my psychosis again. So, yeah, no, that's fine. We can move on after that. All right, last one, the Utah Jazz. Yeah, I mean, we could do it. I don't know how much sense it makes. Poor Taylor Hendricks and his like shattered leg is a whole thing. This team really doesn't have like a ton to build off of right now. They're going to have a really solid landing pad, potentially, depending on if Colin Sexton gets moved or if John Collins gets moved. Like, they're really starting their rebuild like this draft, right? They're going to hopefully get a top player and kind of start building from there. Like, Walker Kessler's awesome. And, like, you presume he's going to be the center of the future. And, like, you don't need Zion Williamson next to a guy like that. It doesn't make sense. I haven't mentioned it all in this video, but Zion Williamson just is a tough player to kind of build around because of the way he plays and the size and stature that he is. And you make it work because he is an effective basketball player at the end of the day, but it is a little bit tricky. Look, it's pretty easy. You could easily just throw John Collins and throw Jordan Clarkson over there. You send Zion back. I don't even know, like, why would either team want this? They need to cut another $3 million. Okay, fair enough. So do I have someone cheaper than Jordan Clarkson? I could do, yeah, I could make something work with this. It's not a big deal. I don't think it makes a ton of sense anyway. So yeah, that's the thing with Zion Williamson, man. It's hard, right? So who are the teams that we said could like logically take him? Like, the first one we drew up with the Knicks was kind of interesting. Like, maybe the Heat and a 3-teamer. The Bulls could probably be talked into it. The Hornets, yeah, probably. The Wizards, we just wouldn't be surprised. It would be extremely dumb of them to do that. The Rockets, the traditional teams we see in trade rumors. Maybe there's a way you make it work in Minnesota. It's incredibly difficult when you have a second apron team. Lakers, as always, and maybe Portland. Portland hasn't proven that they're very good at building rosters, and it would be totally their thing to be like, you know what Scoot Henderson really needs on the team is Zion Williamson. That's how we're going to develop him, as a guy that does want to have the basketball and would operate in all the same areas that he would. That's exactly how we should do it. But anyway, those are my thoughts, y'all. That's what I got for you guys. But hey, appreciate you guys watching as always. Let me know if you want me to do like a full Pelicans like teardown video next week or something like that. Who knows, maybe people get traded by then. I don't know. But I appreciate you guys as always, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.